why shouldn't facilities do it themselves? I mean, that's the most common question, and we love to talk about it every single time. So let's just dig down into it.
I don't want to offend any facility managers or factory personnel that are doing it themselves, because I've seen people do it themselves good, but I see that they hit a limit on the machines that they can service good or do it well, and it's usually, just a few. The result is we can do it better because we just specialize in washing electrostatic cells. We have the machinery to clean the cells, we have the replacement cells, we have the parts, we know how to fix them efficiently, quickly, we know how to, we have the containers to ship them to the end user, leak free, secure. The cells that we wash, we clean, are tested. The insulators aren't cracked. The wires, the ionizer wires, are checked and not broken. Cell plates aren't bent. The cell functions. And if you really take a look at the cost to buy parts washing equipment, the cost to buy replacement cells, the cost to pay somebody to clean them, to dispose of the wastewater, to carry all the parts for the various types of machines, whether it's Trion, SmogHog, MistBuster, CoolBlaster, trimist. Each machine has different types of parts. That's all solved. We not only wash the cell, we repair it, we'll ship it to you securely, and you just insert it. It is cost effective to outsource this. It's just, there's too many variables, and not all cases, but a lot of cases, the factory personnel just don't have complete knowledge of all the parts that they need or all the things that they can do wrong. So you don't just have clean cells coming to you, you have a company that specializes in this that can quickly answer your question, get you straight, and keep
Clean, ready to go, and tested. Which
clean, ready to go, and
brings me to my second question: is some of them are very hard to clean. People use different scrubbing agents, and they're, ruining, bending fins, and wrecking connections, and who knows what else. I'm sure you get a bunch that come in and everything's all east and west and broken, and you have to fix it. But if they're doing it themselves, they might not know the things they break or the connections that they, ruin. So when they put it back in the machine, they just have a big question mark. With your process, they can put it in with confidence, knowing that when they put it in there, troubleshooting wise, it's not the cell because it's cleaned, washed, and tested.
We can control the variables. There's so many things that could happen with the washing of the cell, from the ionizer wires breaking to the plates touching to the insulators cracking or having oil wedged between two plates and you just don't realize it. The key is to test them, and we're taking care of all those variables. If it still doesn't work, we're here because we're doing business with you, in that we're constantly sending you cells at a predetermined schedule. So it's not a one and you're done. This is a system where we are working with you. So if you have a problem, we can help you out. Is it a bad power pack?
You can help diagnose over the phone.
We can help diagnose. And I mentioned in another video, parts are sent with the cells. So if there's a bad power pack, you're going to have it on site.
So you do that every single time regardless? Or if they kind of...
Not always. No, not always. In some instances we don't have to, because...
But it's not like you could run down the street, get extra
you're
parts.
Not going to run down the street. You're going to have a machine
they're
down,
in the toolbox.
and the manufacturer's going to tell you, okay, we'll get it shipped to you. But sometimes that takes a few days. Sometimes it takes longer than a few days.
And if they don't need them, it just comes back.
It just comes
good.
back. It's just a toolbox that you haven't used, right? It's just in a separate box. These parts, and we know what parts you're going to need because we've consulted with you. We know what type of machines you have. Absolutely. I'm not just randomly sending down parts and I'm like, have at it. Each part you're going to have based on the machines that you have. So that can help control some variables that could go wrong. Power pack's bad. The pulley's off. The belt is broken. Just something happened that you didn't, indicator lights out, little things like that we could do to make your life easier.
So I guess
it's easier and more efficient, cost effective to outsource this service. It's versus trying to do it internally.
So basically the takeaway is do it yourself won't necessarily save you money in the long run. It could eat up a lot of wasted time because you're not familiar with what could happen and does happen on a regular basis, and then by the time you put it back in the machine, you could have even more downtime that you didn't expect because something went wrong.
And it's a
in the
dirty
middle.
job.
And
It's a dirty job. It's not easy. Cleaning an electrostatic cell for people who do it, it's difficult. There's a big surface
hard,
area
dirty
on the
work.
cell. It's hard, dirty work. So if you have the machinery and the system in place to efficiently wash the cell, completely take care of the wastewater, you're working in a you're buying into a system that's going to take care of so many problems that you probably didn't even consider, that it's cost effective. We like to make it easy for the customer.
So just some customers, I don't want to say learn the hard way, but they try to clean them and they realize it doesn't look any better than when it came out, because some of the things that are baked on there just are so hard that they're scrubbing and
Yeah,
breaking stuff.
they, if you cook the cells in water too high, it's going to work the cells. If you use too harsh a chemical, you're going to etch the cells. You could put a cell in acid and it's completely dirty, and you dip it in acid and it'll come out and it'll look shiny and clean and weigh about 6 pounds less. And you do it again, and you're going to have no cell. It'll just dissolve away, and then it's just not going to work, and you're not going to understand why. Or if you do understand why, you're going to have to buy a new cell. They're expensive. So all these things we figured out so we could get it clean efficiently and back to you. Well, not even back to you, it was pre-sent to you, so you don't even have machine downtime. So there's a huge amount of benefit in outsourcing this.
So if somebody's on the fence about how much it costs versus how much to do it yourself, the customers that have bought into your program and use your process over the course of years, it's very easy to use, and it does cost something, but it's
If you weigh out the cost of the person,
it's
you're
a
gonna have
fraction
to
of what it
clean
would
them,
be if you had to buy new
versus
ones.
the process of getting your sludge oil removed, properly removed, versus some just the liability. We're taking a lot of liability in that we're cleaning the oil we're taking off the cells, we're disposing of, and a lot of people don't put emphasis on that, and then whether they're doing it wrong or it's sloppy and they're using factory floor space because they're trying to do it, they're not using their space to make money. They're using their space to deal with a problem in the
Good point.
fact that
Never
they're
really thought of that
machining the
part.
product.
Mhm.
So
Interesting.
factory floor space is a consideration. All these things you have to consider when you put everything together. It's cost effective. Customers that use our service, very seldom do we lose them. They're just
realize the value.
they see the value.
Right away.
They see the value.
Probably the first day that they actually switch them out, they're like, that was easy.
They see the value. And some customers, some people I've been in the factories and they have a really good maintenance personnel guy, and he does a very good job of maintaining them. And kudos to him, he does a good job. And they're out there. But by and large, factories don't have that personnel guy that cares, that's going to take the time to clean them. Oh, it's arcing. I'm going to take it back out. I'm going to bring it back down the ladder. I'm going to look at it under a good light and see if there's any fins that are touching. Oh, there's a little bit of grease stuck there. Let me get that out. Some people do that, but by and large, people don't. It's a tedious, dirty job, up and down on the ladder. Just if you get up to an electrostatic unit and you insert a clean cell and it doesn't work, it's a bad feeling. It's a bad feeling. You got to take it down, and you're just like, oh, why isn't this thing working? And I've been there. And that's why I can assure the customer that are considering using this service, the cells are cleaned. I test them before they're sent back out. So when you put them back in, if it doesn't work, well, at least we're going to know that's not the variable. Most likely the variable is something else. The power pack and indicator light, something else. You take care of it.
All right. Well, that's always a fun one to talk about, but that's pretty much right.
Well, that's
Cool.
my business, so.